आचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्तगोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Okay, from number 27, Panchikritebhyah Bhutebhyah. Panchikritebhyo Bhutebhyah.
1 second more there.
पञ्चीकृतेभ्यो भूतेभ्यः
पञ्चीकृतेभ्यो भूतेभ्यः
स्थूलेभ्यः पूर्वकर्मणा
स्थूलेभ्यः पूर्वकर्मणा
समुत्पन्नमिदं स्थूलम्
समुत्पन्नमिदं स्थूलम्
भोगायतनमात्मनः
भोगायतनमात्मनः
अवस्था जागरस्तस्य
अवस्था जागरस्तस्य
स्थूलार्थानुभवो यतः
स्थूलार्थानुभवो यतः
वागादिपञ्च श्रवणादिपञ्च
वागादिपञ्च श्रवणादिपञ्च
प्राणादिपञ्चाभ्रमुखानि पञ्च
प्राणादिपञ्चाभ्रमुखाणि पञ्च
बुद्ध्याद्यविद्यापि च कामकर्मणि
बुद्ध्याद्यविद्यापि च कामकर्मणि
पुर्यष्टकं सूक्ष्मशरीरमाहुः
पुर्यष्टकं सूक्ष्मशरीरमाहुः
इदं शरीरं शृणु सूक्ष्मसंज्ञितम्
इदं शरीरं शृणु सूक्ष्मसंज्ञितम्
लिङ्गं त्वपञ्चीकृतभूतसम्भवम्
लिङ्गं त्वमपञ्चीकृतभूतसम्भवम्
सवासनं कर्मफलानुभावकम्
सवासनं कर्मफलानुभावकम्
स्वाज्ञानतो नादिरुपाधिरात्मनः
आज्ञानतोरणादिरुपादिरात्मनः
स्वप्नो भवत्यस्य विभक्त्यवस्था
स्वप्नो भवतस्य विभक्त्य अवस्था
स्वमात्रशेषेण विभाति यत्र
स्वमात्रशेषेण विभाति यत्र
सर्वव्यापृतिकरणं लिङ्गम्
सर्वव्यापृतिकरणं लिङ्गम्
इदं स्याच्चिदात्मनः पुंसः
इदं स्याच्चिदात्मनः पुंसः
वास्यादिकमिव तक्ष्णम्
वास्यादिकमिव तक्ष्णम्
वास्यादिकमिव तक्ष्णः
वास्यादिकमिव तक्ष्णः
तेनैवात्मा भवत्यसङ्गोऽयम्
तेनैवात्मा भवत्यसङ्गोऽयम्
Yeah. So starting from shloka number 27, Sri Guru Ruvacha prior to that, and he started with a description of Sthula Shariram. So in Atma Vidya, this teaching is called Atma Vidya, but it starts with a description of what is Anatma, and knowing that the whole world is Anatma anyway. There is no need to say the sun is Anatma, moon is Anatma, Pluto is Anatma, those trees are Anatma, the house is Anatma, the cars are Anatma. No need to say. Where we start with is the body, because that is where the confusion begins. So right away there, Sthula Shariram was mentioned in shloka number 27. And he doesn't use the word Anatma there, but understood as Anatma. Then Vagadi Pancha, Shravanadi Pancha. That's where Sukshma Shariram Ahuhu. Introduced Sukshma Shariram. He spends a little more time with Sukshma Shariram. Very interesting. Gross things quickly covered. Then Sukshma Shariram, more shlokas. Then Karana Shariram, more shlokas. Then Atma, there is no end to number of shlokas we can talk about. So the more subtler it is, the more time is needed, I suppose. Yeah. So all right. So this one 29 also Sukshma Shariram, Savasanam, Karma Phala Anubhavakam. We saw that. Anadihi. All these words are introduced. So those who are new to Shastram, you make a note of all these things. Anadihi, Upadihi. These are all technical words which have very profound meanings only in our Shastram. Then we looked at this shloka number 30, Sarva Vyapriti Karanam Lingam. Lingam was introduced before also. And in this shloka, Bhagavan Shankaracharya introduced a word called Asangaha. Asangoyam, quietly introduced. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. What we say is, we will also say Buddham Sharanam Gacchami. We have no problem saying that. But Asangam Sharanam Gacchami, that is our Advaita Vedanta. Please understand that Asanga is introduced here. Not Sangam Sharanam Gacchami. Sangam is okay. We also need a Sangha, Satsanga and all is there. Yeah, I need a Satsanga for me to get into an environment where these things are talked about freely, where the mind is free, okay, like that they say. So for that I need Sangha, but then Sangha also results in Asanga. The goal of Sangha should be Asanga. Yeah, go ahead and mute yourselves, please. Sarala, Kalyani and other people. Okay, all right. So like that's the important word that I wanted to just reiterate. So that is what Shankaracharya says. Manobuddhyahankara chittani naham. Naham. I'm none of these things. He has to write a Nirvana Shatkam just to remind us that we are not these things. So when we hear children chanting and all that, children should chant so that when they grow up somewhere it should strike. Oh my God, I studied all this. I used to chant this before. Really, this is Vedanta? Then immediately for them Vedanta will be approachable. Approachable. Oh, it's not a new concept anymore. I was exposed to it. And so, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Pita apita bhavati. Pita apita bhavati. What a statement it is. Father is no longer father. Mata amata bhavati. Devaha adevaha bhavanti. You understand all this. Devatas are no longer devatas. Why? Because devata is a point of view. Pita, father, is a point of view. Hey, with respect to some people only, you use your father. You're not absolute father. You're not the father of everybody. And you were not the father before you had children. So father is just a role you are playing. Role. And anyway, father doesn't exist without mother also. Two are good. They are dependent on each other. This role is dependent on this role. This role is dependent on this role. Or rather, husband, wife, let's say. husband, wife. Dependent. You take one role out, the other role is gone. So, Devaha adevaha bhavanti, Vedaha avedaha bhavanti. Look at the beauty. You say Veda, well, it becomes Aveda. Once Atma is understood, Vedaha avedaha bhavanti. Like that beautiful mantra is there. So all that to bring about the idea of asangatvam. And Swamiji mentions Spatikavat. Spatikavat. Like the Spatika, that white crystal, Spatika Lingam, white crystal. So the Spatika Lingam is such a sacred lingam for all of us. Spatika Mani.
Again, that
Spatika Ma. Huh? Spatikavat. Asangaha. Asangaha means what? Pure, unattached with anything. Unattached. So unattached means don't think it's a complicated idea. Suppose I ask you, what is attached to its shape, its color, its beauty, its eyelashes? Oh, my eyelashes are good. So I spend a lot of time on my eyelashes. Then my face also. So pot is spending a lot of time in front of the mirror. But what about clay? Is the clay attached to the pot if I ask? Okay. There is some noise somewhere. Sorry. So if I ask that question, pot is attached to itself, its body, its shape and everything. Pot is very attached to it and attached to so many other things. Small pot, kutti pots are there, children pots are there because this is mother pot, and then all these things are there. Now, clay, if you ask, clay is totally unattached to anything because clay is asangaha. Clay can become father, mother pot, son pot, daughter pot. It can become anything. And even after the father pot is gone, clay continues to be sakshi, just watching everything. Watching, as they say, awareness, chaitanyam. Okay. And so that pot is pure spatikavat. So that idea Swamiji had mentioned. I am Atma Asangaha. Swamiji here gives an example, beautiful example it is. See, there is a one-way street, one-way road actually. It's a one-way. And a lot of traffic is there. One driver came the wrong way, and the police is watching right there. But the police did not catch this driver, allowed him to just go. Why? This is the question. Okay. Anybody wants to answer the question? Why? No, Ramuji cannot answer. No. Sorry, Ramuji. Please stay muted. Yeah. Ramuji knows everything.
He's an ambulance driver.
Ambulance.
Maybe it's an ambulance. Maybe it's an ambulance, Guruji.
Very good. Ambulance driver. Any other answers? I like that answer. Ambulance driver.
Maybe the others he didn't want to get affected, so he just wanted to go first, so others are not affected, or does not continue to affect others.
Okay. Second answer.
Maybe
Next.
policeman.
One second. Rukmini ji, go ahead.
Maybe policeman.
Maybe it is a police van. Okay. Third answer. Shanti.
He might get stuck at some point, Guruji.
He might stuck at some point. Okay. So all these reasons are given because, and so police just watched and then allowed things to go the way it is. And police also did not want to rock the boat. Why create more problems than there is problem now? Like that. All reasons we have given. Ambulance also good one. But the answer here we are looking for. The answer is driver.
Politician in India.
Politician. Okay, politician. All right, good answers. In India, all these things will work. All these answers will work in India. In America, I don't know it will work. And so, politician. So the answer is this. Hey, a driver was going, I said. Did I say a driver was going in a car? No, driver is going. Now all of you are scratching your head. Driver, I said driver is going. Did I say car was going, scooter? I didn't say all that. Driver was walking. And so why should the driver means immediately you think of a vehicle. That is what it is. Aham means immediately think of a vehicle. A vehicle is the body. That is example Swami gives. Beautiful one. So asangaha, the sangatvam is there constantly. So that is the idea. Bhagavan Bhashikara has introduced it right here for us to think about. So with that, I think did I give you the Anvaya? This one, the translation.
Yes.
I think we did.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, good. Okay. Now what I want to do is next shloka is this Avyakta Namni in the abridged one, and that is the shloka talking about Karana Sharira. Stulam talked about, Sukshmam talked about Karana Shariram. So in between there are still some shlokas that talk about Sukshma Shariram, and there's some beautiful shlokas there. I thought we will just look at it. So go ahead and the next person can unmute themselves. And what we're going to do is read this shloka in the unabridged version. It is called Andhatvam, number 101 in my book. It's called Andhatvam. All right, we all got it. Everybody got it? Andhatvam. Okay, in the unabridged version.
Page number, please.
I don't want to give page numbers and all. Please, there is no book. We are not following the same book on this unabridged version, and there is no page number. It all depends on which book you are following. Correct? We are looking at Andhatvam.
Andhatvam.
Okay. Andhatva mandatva patutva dharma.
Andhatva patutva dharma.
Saugunya vaigunya vashadhi chakshushaha.
Saugunya vaigunya vashadhi chakshushaha.
Badhirya mukatva mukhastathaiva.
Bhadirya mukatva mukhastataiva taiva.
Shrotradi dharma natu veturatmanaha.
Shotratri dharma natu veturatmanaha.
Yeah. The words to underline here are in the first quarter dharmaha, second quarter chakshushaha, okay, and next half again dharmaha natu atmanaha. Dharmaha natu atmanaha. These words you underline. That is the main sentence. Okay, two sentences are there. First is what? Dharma chakshushaha dharmaha. Chakshushaha dharmaha. Somebody is unmuted. Please mute yourself. Kalpana, Shankar, etc. All right. Andhatva, mandatva, patutva dharmaha. Okay. All these dharmaha. Andhatvam means the blindness. Blindness. Mandatva means some reduced vision, deficient vision, short-sightedness, long-sightedness, color blindness. All these things are mandatvam. Patutva means my eyesight is 20/20, they say. 20/20 vision. Okay, 20/20. That is what patutva dharma. These are all dharma. These are all the attributes. And further, they're all variations in what? Saugunya and Vaigunya Vasha. Means Saugunya means good quality, goodness. Quality is good. You know, they say there is a somebody is unmuted. Can you mute yourself, please? Why is this happening? I don't understand. So there is a gradation, right? Green, and then yellow, and then slowly red. So like that. That is what is Saugunya and Vaigunya. Saugunya means green, greenness, betterness, and Vaigunya is deficiency. There is some what do you call that?
I can see that Abdul Rahman added read AI meet.
So, Saugunya. So this, they're all gradation of the Saugunyam and Vaigunyam. Of what? Attributes of the eyes. They're all the attributes of the eyes. And like that, Badhihi, Badhirya, Mukatva, Mukhaha, Tathaiva, Shrotradi Dharmaha. And like that, even for ears also, it has some qualities like Badhirya. Badhirya means deafness. Mukatva, mute, unable to speak. Then Mukhaha, Mukatva Mukhaha, Tathaiva. Like that, all these things that we use, the person is mute, the person is deaf, etc., are all their respective dharmas. Shrotradi dharmaha. They're all attributes of the ears, vocal cords, and hands, legs, like that. Lame. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yatkripa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. Mukam karoti vachalam. So mukatva, there also mukatva. Vachala means that lame person who has legs, unable to walk. So they are all shrotradi dharma, natu atmanaha. They are not attributes of atma. The introduction. This is all introduction to Vedanta. Those are all not attributes of atma. Means what? They are not. When I say I, that I, it can refer to body also. I am having coffee. Give me 5 minutes. I'll join you. If somebody says, that means what? Okay. It's a perfectly fine statement. But that I is referring to the body, senses, kartritvam. I am having, somebody is having. So that karta is there. But that is not the real I. That is a temporary I, a role-playing I. Okay, that's a role that is talking, and that's what he's saying here. Natu vetuhu atmanaha. These are not the attributes of Atma. Simple statement it is. Vetuhu means knower. Atma is the knower of the whole. Knower means observer. Everything. Sakshinaha. Atma is the sakshi of everything. That is why in deep sleep also, Atma is the sakshi. Sakshi is there very much. That is why when I wake up, I can say, I slept well. How do you know you slept well? You're sleeping like a log, and you are not even there. And how you know you slept well? No, I think I slept well. No, thank you. That's fine. I know I slept well. Okay, I know I slept well. So that knowership is there for Atma. Vetuhu. All right. Next shloka. That's all. We're going to keep moving on this one. The next person can be ready. Yeah, Shravana. Uchvasa Nishvasa. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
And yes.
Uchvasa Nishvasa.
Uchvasa Nishvasa.
Vijrumbhanakshute.
Vijrumbhachakshuta.
Prasyandana.
Prasyandana.
Sorry, Prasyandanadi.
Prasyanyadnadi.
Utkramanadikaha.
Utkramanadikaha.
Kriyaha.
Priyaha.
Pranadikarmani.
Pranadikarmani.
Vadanti tadnyaha.
Vadanti tajñaha.
Pranasya dharmau.
Pranasya dharma.
Ashanapi pase.
Ashanati pase.
Yeah. So he's giving a further list of attributes that human beings commonly experience. Okay. So he's saying this Uchvasa Nishvasa. Uchvasa means inhalation. Nishvasa means exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. Vijrumbhana. Vijrumbhana means yawning. that yawning is called Vijrumbana. Kshuta. Kshuta means sneezing. Okay, sneezing. Prasyandana. Prasyandana means the functions of the body which create secretions. Secretions. And some part of the body is hurt, then there are immediately clotting process happens, and there is a wound, then a healing process. There is secretions are there. You have to clean the secretions. All these things are there. So those all parts of the body where these things happen, that aspect is called secretion. Prasyandana. Adi. Adi. And such functions like that are happening in the body. Okay, without your even knowledge, you are not really willing all these things. They're all happening. Okay, at least hearing and all, you might say, you might choose to hear something. Wait a minute, what did you say? And you're willing to hear. But all these other processes, we are not even conscious of it. It's just happening. Occasionally we are conscious of, but it's happening. Okay, so, and then Utkramanadikaha. Utkramanadi. This whole process of that is ejecting things out of the body like vomit, and like the process of death. In the death, what happens? The Sukshma Shariram has to be carried away. It has to be taken away. So that function of carrying away is called Utkramana. Utkramana. Like Sankramanam, for sun we say Sankramanam. Uttarayanam, Dakshinayanam, and all we say. Like that here also, Utkramana. That exiting, that process of exiting, leaving, Adikaha, etc. These are all Kriyaha. These are also activities that are happening in the body very much. Of course, we know that. And let's go to the last quarter. Pranasya dharmau ashana pipase. Then there is the hunger. Ashana is hunger. Pipasa is thirst. Nobody wants to be hungry. Hunger just happens. Nobody wants to be thirsty. Thirst just happens. That's all. You can want to quench your thirst, but not want to be thirsty. And so, asana pipase, all these attributes are what? Pranasya. They belong to the prana. Like that it is said in the last quarter. And same thing is said here. Pranadi karmani vadanti tajnaha. They are all activities of the prana. Prana, which is part of the Sukshma Shariram. What is Sukshma Shariram composed of? Pancha Jnanendriyani, 5 sense organs. Pancha Karmendriyani, 5 organs of actions like hands and legs. Then Pancha Pranaha. Pancha Prana. Then Manaha, etc. come. That is Sukshma Shariram. So Pranadi Karmani. They belong to this group of activities called Prana, which means what? The physiological system. These activities belong to the physiological system. Like that, he's saying here. Within brackets, you have to say, they do not belong to Atma. You should bring that. Natu Atmanaha. Within brackets, you can add that. Natu Atmanaha. Bring it from the previous shloka. Correct? That is understood. That's how we study the Shastra. And that is called Anuvritti. Anuvritti. Anuvritti means what? Whatever is required from the previous shlokas, you bring it down. And there is no need for Shankaracharya to repeat those things. It's understood. Okay? All right, let's chant the next one.
Sridharji, your turn to chant.
Hari Om.
Antahkaranameteshu
Antakaranameshu
Chakshuradishu Varshmani
Chakshuradishu Varshmani
Ahamityabhimanena
Ahamapatimanena
Tishtati
Ishtati
Abhasa Tejasa.
Abhasa Tejasa.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
The words to underline here are antakaranam in the first half and next half tishtati. Antakaranam tishtati. That is the main sentence. Now he's talking about mind. Antakaranam has come, right? All the other activities, prana, etc., talked about. Sense organs talked about, blindness of the eyes, all these attributes he talked about. Now he's talking about antakaranam, mind. Antakaranam tishtati. The mind remains, the mind exists, the mind is in the form of, like that, we have to look at this. Tishtati. All right. Aham iti abhimanena. The mind is there. How do you characterize the mind? How do you characterize the mind? And well, he's saying ahamiti abhimanena. Well, abhimana is there. Abhimana means this deeply entrenched sense of I, identity, self-identity is there. I, taken for granted. Everybody knows who they are. That's why transactions happen. Okay, everybody knows who they are. And that knows who they are is called that ahamiti abhimanena. Okay, who broke this glass? Not me. Not me. Okay, that means the I is clear, crystal clear. I know who I am. I did not break the glass also. Okay, so that I is very much there, ready to express itself. Okay, and then Shankaracharya adds a clause here that ahamiti abhimana is there, all right, but what kind of idea of I it is? That where is that I located? Chakshuradishu. That I, fortunately, other than Atma, everywhere else the I is identifying with. Okay, it is identifying with the eyes. Like I am short-sighted. Okay, I'm hard to hear. These are all I. Everything is I. Becomes the attributes of I. While earlier he said no, they are not the attributes of this one letter I. It is the attribute of the EYEI. Okay, now there's a lot of puns are going on here, and so it is attribute of EYE, not the I. Okay, Varshmani. Varshman means the Shariram, Deha. Varshmani. So this I is placed in the body. This identification as body is so deeply entrenched. It is very much needed in order to do all the transactions, but that I is impermanent identification. How do I know it is impermanent? In deep sleep and even in dream, the sthula shariram is gone. Identity is not there. It's not there. I don't identify with the body at all in sleep. And so the identity is gone. Role playing is gone. So body identification comes and goes. How can I be the body? How can I be the body when I'm not related to the body in sleep? So I'm given possession of the body during my waking state. I play the role of the caretaker of this body, user of this body. Like that, he said, chisel. Carpenter uses the chisel, right? Tool. Like a tool, I should be using it. Like that, he gave the example, right? So, Chakshuradishu Varshmani Ahamiti Abhimanena Tishtati. This mind is the central guy. Without the mind, all these eyes will keep working and all that. Something will happen. We don't know what will happen. A lot of things will not happen without the mind. And but then that Abhimana, this is who I am. Tishtati Abhasa Tejasa. Abhasa Tejasa. Tejasa means brilliant. Mind is what makes the mind is what makes the whole body worth it. Whole body, worth interacting with, worth living. So Tejasa, the mind is brilliant. But then Abhasa Tejasa, what a word it is. Another Sanskrit word it is. Abhasa. Abhasa means It is as though some projection is there, some mistake is there. There is something that's not right about all this. Abhasa. Or you can say borrowed brilliance. It is not mind's brilliance, it's not mind's own brilliance. Hey, it's borrowing its brilliance from Chaitanyam. Please understand that. Atma is there. You ignore Atma, like the guy, like the son who goes around in all these sports cars, and one day this car, another day that car, and he is just all over the place. And friends are all, he doesn't know how to talk, and he's acting as though he's this and that. But it's all his father and mother's money that is there, and they are giving him all these things. He doesn't realize that he has to study, he has to earn a living, he has to learn to stand on his own legs. He doesn't know that. Like that, this mind also, abhasa tejasa tishtati. Okay, I think you got the idea. We're not going to translate this. I think you got the idea. Next sloka. So he's entered the idea of this antakaranam, which is going to continue in the next sloka also. Okay, Sri Vidya. Ahankarassa vigneyaha
अहङ्कारस्य विज्ञेयः
karta bhokta bhimanyayam
कर्ता भोक्ताभिमान्ययम्
satvadi gunayogena
सत्त्वादिगुणयोगेन
chavasthatrayamashnuते.
चावस्थात्रयमश्नुते.
Yeah. So new words are being introduced. So I thought I'll cover it only because it's a beginner's text, and words like ahankara, karta. I don't think karta, we've seen that word before. Continuing the topic of this mind, antakaranam, he's saying the words to underline for you are ahankaraha, karta, that's it. That is the first sentence. Ahankaraha karta. Within brackets, you can say bhavati. Ahankaraha karta bhavati. Next sentence would be avasthatrayam ashnute. That would be the second sentence. So sometimes it's good to catch hold of the verb and one noun and then just grab a hold of it and then use that as an anchor and then build the rest of the sentence. That's how we study Sanskrit. All right. So ahankaraha karta bhavati. There is something called ahankaraha. Ahankaromi iti ahankaraha. Who did it? I did it. Who drew this picture? My son drew it. My daughter drew this picture. Okay. Ahankara is there. Mamakara is there. I and mine. I, mine. I, mine. Constantly it is there. That is the karta. So ahankaromi, that guy is called karta. Ahankara is the general word. Karta is a specific word. Specific means when it comes to doership, doing things, it's called karta. When it comes to experiencing the results of my actions and other people's actions, I am called bhokta. I am called bhokta. So I say this experience was good, that was not a good experience at all. All these things I say, that is called bhokta. Ayam ahankaraha karta bhavati, bhokta bhavati, abhimani. Abhimani. Again, identifying with kartritvam, I become karta. See, very interesting it is. When I identify with what I accomplish, I become karta. If I don't identify with it, I don't become a karta. See, so many things are done. A mother does so many things for the child. Okay, so many things from day one. I mean, what day one? Day minus 9 months onwards. The child is there, association is there, but the child is brought up, and the child goes to school, college, everything is happening, and just the entire life she has given up. Okay, for the sake of the child, one child. But you ask her, is there kartritvam? What kind of kartritvam? Yeah, I did a lot for my child, but it is not the kind of kartritvam where I expect some returns for this, correct? That is a different kind of kartritvam. I did so much, boss, This is all my progress report. Look, last month, this is the progress report. You have to tell. And so then there is always a appraisal every month, and then every year there is an appraisal. But here it is not like that. That means what? That kartrutvam is subdued. It is subdued because it's all a duty. Karna hai, kar diya. So now I'm not attached to it. I don't really associate it with. Abhimana is not there. That much abhimana is not there. But here he's saying abhimana, when it is there, that ahankara becomes a karta. Ahankara must be there in order to execute any action. Any action. I am thirsty, I want to drink water. If I say ahankara must be there, otherwise this idea will not come. Okay. And so ayam ahankaraha karta bhavati. This ahankara, or you can even put antakaranam there. This antakaranam, which is called ahankara, is playing the role of a karta, is playing the role of a bhokta, experiencer. Savijñeyaha, may you know this. This must be known. Like that, Shankaracharya is saying, okay, may you know this. And then what? Avasthatrayam ashnute. And going back to the discussion of avasthatrayam, so Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti, well, with Satvadi Guna Yogena, these gunas, Gunatrayam, Krishna talked about in the Bhagavad Gita. So, associated with the gunas, then the person keeps playing roles, and when this tamas is predominant, I go to sleep. When rajas is there, okay, then dream is there, and when sattva, rajas and tamas are all active, I am in the waking state. Waking state. Morning time, sattvam will be active. That's why they say, get up in the morning and study. Study, they say. So even though it's hard to get up in the morning, morning is study. Why? Because at that time, all the other rajas is subdued. Tamas must have rested well. Therefore, tamas also is less and must have rested well. And so get up. Only sattva is there. Mind is fresh. And just study. It's amazing how this works. This is 1 hour you spend in the morning to understand, to study something. It will require 2.5 hours later on in the evening. I mean, occasionally in the night also you will be in the mood to study and all. That you let go. Mood to study is good. Anytime you have the mood to study, you study, okay? Don't say I have to study only in the morning and all. Study in the evening. But otherwise, you find that this process is always there. So, Sattvadi Guna Yogena Avasthatrayam Ashnute. This ahankara assumes the form of 3 states of experience due to the play of this guna, sattvadi, sattvam, rajas and tamas gunas are there, and this play doesn't affect atma. Atma is not playing, really speaking. That is the idea here. Okay, next shloka also we're going to look at.
What is ashnute?
Ashnute, literal meaning of ashnute is eats, consumes. Here we are saying assumes. Ahankara assumes these 3 states, takes on these 3 states. Like that we should translate. Because remember Ashana Pipasa we saw just some time ago. We saw in shloka number 102. Dharmau Ashana Pipase. That same Ashana. Ashana there we said is hunger. Here Ashdhatu. Consumption. Consumption means what? That assumes. The ahankara, that person, jiva, assumes these 3 states. All right, next shloka. Vishayanaamanukulye
विषयानामानुकुल्ये
sukhi dukhi viparyaye
सुखी दुःखी विपर्यये
sukham dukkham cha tadharmaha
सुखं दुःखं च तद्धर्मः
sadanandasya natmanaha.
तदानन्दस्य नात्महन्नः.
Yeah. Same idea. Further examples. Again, coming to the same Antakaranam is the topic from 103 onwards. Second, third sloka also. Antakaranam is talked about. You can underline. Yeah. Tadharmaha, you can underline. Na atmanaha, you can underline. Yeah. So tadharmaha means antakarana dharmaha. Tat means that. That means what? That is which is the topic of these past few slokas, which is antakaranam, mind. Okay. Tadharmaha. These attributes, which attributes? Sukhi, dukhi, viparyaye. Sukham, dukkham cha tadharmaha. Sukham, dukkham. This joy and sorrow that we talk about all the time, that we experience, cha tadharmaha, is also the attribute of the mind. Okay, it's an attribute of the mind. And what does this do? Vishayana, what happens? When am I a sukhi? When I experience sukham, I am called sukhi. I am happy now. Sukhi. Okay. When does this person become sukhi? Vishayanam anukulye. When I am exposed to favorable conditions, favorable things, I'm surrounded by favorable things at this moment, in this very moment, then sukhi, I'm happy. Dukhi viparyaye. Viparya means opposite, contrary, unfavorable. So when I'm surrounded by unfavorable situations, then they trigger this dukkham in me and I become a dukhi. I call myself, I am sad, I am devastated, I am depressed, dukhi. Like that I say, sukham dukkham cha tad dharmaha sadanandasya natmanaha. Okay, fine. Nothing wrong with it. It is the attribute of this antakaranam. It is tadharmaha. It is the attribute of the mind, all right. But don't take it as yourself. It does not belong to you, the atma. Na atmanaha. Na atmanaha. Then what is the nature of atma? If atma is not subject to sadness and happiness, sadanandaha. Anandaha. Anandasya atmanaha. Shashti, both of them. So that atma whose nature is ananda. And what about up and down ananda or steady ananda? Steady anandaha. Sadanandaha. Sada, always same thing. Asangaha also. So nothing can affect atma also. Even there is a lockdown and COVID and all that, what happens to atma? It is sad that bodies can be affected. People can die. But then atma is unaffected. And may you recognize that you are that atma, that unaffected atma, that ananda swarupa atma. Like that Shankaracharya is wanting to tell us here in this shloka. Okay, next shloka. Yeah, Sundariji. आत्मार्थत्वेन हि प्रेयान्
आत्मार्थत्वेन हि प्रयान्
विषयो न स्वतः प्रियः
विषयो न स्वतः प्रियः
स्वत एव हि सर्वेषाम्
स्वत एव हि सर्वेषाम्
आत्मा प्रियतमो यतः
आत्मा प्रियतमो यतः
तत आत्मा सदानन्दः
तत आत्मा सदानन्दः
नास्य दुःखं कदाचन
नास्य दुःखं गताचन.
So it's good, no? I mean, see, now you can see the beauty of Vivekachoodamani, right? You need a gradual start. It is like taking the child and slowly taking it. hold on to my hand, I'll take you there. Like that. And the child also will walk like this. And happily walk. So like that, we are also, Kracharya is holding us. Right? Words to underline here. Atmarthatvena priyaha. Just underline those two words. And next, one third, Atma priyatamaha. The rest we can follow. Atma Sadanandaha is there. Okay. So Priyaha. So this is an important shloka actually. We'll spend a bit of time on this. He is talking about this nature of Ananda, this experience of Sukham and Dukkham. Okay, so it's an important topic. And he's just saying one sentence. He's borrowing from the Upanishads and all that. There is an experience of joy. Okay. Happiness. I like my car. I like my vehicle. I like my children. I like my spouse. I like my parents. I love my parents. I love all the things. I love my job, I can say. Or I don't like my job, I can say. Or I love everything. My profession itself is good. I like it very much. I like. Okay. Now, the question is asked. This experience of Sukham that you get from all these contacts, from all these engagements, okay? I derive joy from my job. I derive joy from this new vehicle. I derive joy from this phone. I derive joy from my children. I derive joy from my spouse. If I say, hey, look, this question has to be really understood. This is the $1 million question. Is anything in this universe capable of giving me joy? This is the question. Fire has heat. Fire has heat. Heat is an attribute of fire. You cannot separate fire and heat. You cannot separate because it's an attribute. And therefore, then I can use that heat. That fire can donate its heat to me or to any other thing which I want to heat. Okay? Because it has fire. It has heat. It's an attribute of the fire. Okay? Flowers have some odor, some nice aroma is there. Then we borrow that aroma. And so much that we have gone one step ahead also. We identified what is the chemical in the rose which is contributing to that odor. Then I go to the lab and then I manufacture that particular chemical. And then guess what? When I manufacture the chemical in the lab, guess what? It has the same aroma as the rose. And now I'm getting more ideas. Now I will use this chemical and quietly mix it in soap and mix it in perfume and mix it everywhere, nail polish and this and that, and now it is all rose fragrance is there. Why? Because of that little rose, and it's donating its fragrance to all of us. So rose has that fragrance, it can donate, it can give it to others for experiencing. So now the question is, when I say I derive joy from my children or from any person, friend or spouse, it's okay. Nothing wrong with that statement. But fundamentally, does that person have the quality like the rose has this aroma? Rose aroma is there. And like that, does the happiness, is it a quality of the person? Is the question being asked? The answer is, what is the answer? Hey, Ananda is not an attribute of the person. The only thing which has Ananda is Atma. Atma is the only entity which you can call Ananda Swarupaha. Anatma cannot have the attribute of Ananda at all. Not possible. Anatma is Jadam. But then how do I experience joy then? I meet all my friends, alumni gathering. I am happy. I'm very happy, in fact. We have not met in 5 years or 10 years or 50 years. First time I'm going, obviously I'm happy. And we have so much to talk. From the shape and size onwards, we can talk. Oh, you've become this big or this small or this thing. What happened to your hair? Like this, we get into all these frivolous discussions. No, good discussion. I don't say frivolous and all. It's all good discussion. But from the stula onwards, we have to start talking. Only then we have to go to sukshma. Then only what are you doing with your children? This and all we talk. So where is this joy coming from then? This is the $1,000,000 question that Yajnavalkya is asking Maitreyi in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. When Yajnavalkya says, I am going to give up this entire kingdom, and I'm going to assume some of you don't know the story, so it's a repetition for many others also. He's going to walk away from his kingdom. He's a Samrat, he's a Sarvabhauma, he is. And the wife, two wives he has, Katyayani and Maitreyi. Katyayani says, it's all right, okay, I'll take care of the half. And Maitreyi says, wait a minute, what's the problem here? She's asking, what is the problem? Tell me. You are leaving the kingdom? See, okay, some problem with marriage problem and all is there, I can understand, okay? And on top of that, two wives means twice the size of problems, right? So that all I can understand. But we don't have these kinds of problems, okay? Everybody loves you. All citizens love you. There is nothing lacking in this kingdom. People give their shirt to get this kind of a life, and they do yagas. Vishwajit yaga is being done by Vajashravas to get this kind of a life, and you are saying you are going to give up all this. And she says, another remark she makes, she says, this means the joy you are going to get from wherever you are going must be greater than the joy you are getting in this kingdom. Correct? He says. Then Are Maitreyi, he says, Are Maitreyi means, dear Maitreyi, yes, you are speaking words of wisdom. Means you got it, you understood. I'm not running away from this kingdom. And so like that the teaching starts. And then she says, if that is the case, you tell me more about that thing that you're going after. Look at the beautiful dialogue. And so, and this dialogue is dear to me, you know why? Because when I first attended the ashram in 1996, December, this is a personal thing. And that camp was supposed to be on Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. And Swamiji is talking about this. So I remember just that whole 7 days, I remember every word Swamiji said. And you can imagine his style, the way he talks. There is so much Brahma Vidya to talk about, but he is quietly, joyfully just talking and keeping everybody in good humor. And I had to be kept in good humor also, because I didn't know what to expect. And suddenly he's talking Purusharthas and everything, and then Atma, Shreyas, Prayas, everything covered in 1 week. And I got everything that day. That day means that week. And said, my goodness, this is it. I fell at his feet. I said, Swamiji, I don't know what to say, but I want to be your student. Parvalapa, yeah, you're my student. Like that, something like that he must have said. And so she's saying, Maitreyi is saying, teach me, tell me more about this. I'm not going to let you go unless you tell me all about it. Then he asks, hey, this Ananda that Sukham that you're getting from me and from this kingdom and your children and all these things. And when the Praja comes and stand in front of you and then they say Namaskar to the king and the queen, you feel very happy and good. Huh? Where is this goodness coming from? Where is this happiness coming from? Did you ever think about it? Is it coming from all the people and things? And he says, Vittasya kamaya nava are vittasya kamaya vittam priyam bhavati. Are Maitreyi, na nava are vittasya kamaya vittam priyam bhavati. Hey, you love your assets, all the gold and everything that you possess, this kingdom, this real estate. that you possess, not for the sake of the wealth itself. You love it because it pleases you, because of the pleased self. The commitment is to you, not to the wealth itself. That is why you can have a sannyasi that can just walk away from all this. It is not the sannyasi is sad. Sannyasi is as happy as you are, still walking away from all this. And going and deciding to live in a hut somewhere. Okay, why? Because that vittam, that person knows vittam does not directly give you happiness. Nothing buys like money. Please understand this very well. Nothing buys like money. If you want to buy something, you need money. But comfort and happiness are a different breed. And so, vittasya kamaya vittam priyam na bhavati. No. Because the pleased self, this whether I am happy or sad is here. And so this here is what decides whether you like something or not, and you like the money. Like that, Nava are Jaya Yaha Kamaya Jaya Priya Bhavati. Jaya means wife. And then this man says, I love my wife. And guess what? He doesn't love the wife for the sake of the wife. He loves the wife because the wife pleases him. Period. That is why when the time comes when the wife stops being pleasant, then what do? They go to the court. Why? If the wife had the property of joy, if the husband had the property of joy just emanating out like this, then joy should always be there. Like the rose flower was always giving the rose odor, aroma. No. This property and all give up. Anatma cannot have the property of Ananda. That is why there can be joy, there can be sorrow also. I am willing to live with her or him. I am willing to separate from him or her. That also is there. Atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati, he says. Then again, he used a list of examples. Nava are. Do you think that the citizens love the king for the sake of the king? Nava are kshatrasya kamaya kshatram priyam bhavati. Kshatram means king. King, queen. No, they don't love the king for the sake of the king. They love for their own sake. They may say, I'll give up my life for this kingdom. All that is fine. But because it makes them happy. Giving up my life for my king, for Modi, makes me happy. Makes me happy. Look at that. Look at that. Like this, another list is given. Nama are putrasya kamaya putram priyam bhavati. You love your children? Do you? Yes, I do love my children. Okay. Nava are putrasya kamaya putram priyam bhavati. It is not because for the child's sake you love the child. It is for your own sake that you love the child. Okay. This is a very important lesson for all of us. All Vedantis have to periodically just think about it. Think. During joyful situations, you better think, so that during not so joyful situations, I can bring that teaching to the fore and invoke it in my mind. Okay. That is what he's saying here. Look at this. And so, Atmarthatvena Priyaha. Now you understand. Atmarthatvena, for my own sake, Priyaha. These things are all dear to me. Which things? Preyan Vishayaha. Preyan Vishayaha. Shreyascha Preyascha Manushyametaha. Right? We saw in Kathopanishad. Preyan means what? Preyas. There are two things in this world. Shreyas and Preyas. Two pursuits, let's say. Two pursuits. Preyas is Dharmartha Kama pursuit. Shreyas is moksha pursuit. Okay. So, Preyan Vishayaha means what? All things which fall in the category of Dharma, Artha and Kama. They're all Preyan Vishayaha. That object is called Preyan. Preyan. So, Preyan is not, you're used to this. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharmo. Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha Paradharma Swanushtita. Like that we saw in Bhagavad Gita. That same Shreyan. Opposite of that is Preyan. Preyan. Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachana. So, Preyan Vishaya means things of the world. things that you use, including the body. Based on the previous shlokas, including the body, is prayan vishayaha. Body does not have the attribute of ananda. That's what he's saying. Na swataha priyaha. Swataha, by itself, it does not have the attribute of joy. Nothing, no object in this world. It can, if you feel it gives you joy, that's fine, go with it. But understand at some point, this joy is coming from you, like the deer, which has this at its bottom in the, what do you call that, navel. It has some odor emanates from that kaveri man, from that type of deer, and the deer keeps on looking for that smell. Where is the smell coming from? I like the smell. It keeps looking. It can never find it. Never find it. That is what it is. Like the dog that bites the bone and then loves the blood, taste of the blood that is coming from its own mouth. Okay, those examples our Shastram gives. So, na swataha priyaha. Swata eva hi sarvesham atma priyatamo yataha. Because that Atma, which is the essence of everything, sarvesham Atma, now he is introducing more. Atma is here in myself. I am the pleased self. I am the source of joy, really speaking, for everything. For every joyful experience, I am the source. That Ananda is coming from me only. The people who trigger joy in my life, they only trigger. What they do is they remove any obstructions that are there between me and the joy. Like the cloud is being, when the cloud moves away, the sun shines. That is all people can do. That's all things can do. And so here, Sarvesham Atma Priyatamaha. The dearest. Atma is the dearest. Atma is the dearest means what? I am the dearest to myself. This is a statement. It is not being selfish. It is a statement of fact. I am the dearest to myself. That's it. You are the dearest to me, my dear Kuti, and all we say. That is all fine. That is important for the child, no doubt about it. But really speaking, there is one thing that is dearer than the dearest baby. Who is the dearest? Self. I am the dearest to myself. That is what he's saying. Atma priyatamaha. What a statement it is. How can we miss out on this? How can a human being lead a life without knowing these important facts? Only then the person can get some sanity from this world. Otherwise, the person is going to just go up and down and get lost. And so, priyatamaha yataha tataha atma sadanandaha nasya dukkham kadachanaha. That therefore, this atma which is sadanandaha, which is always of the nature of ananda, sat chit anandaha, that atma, always sadanandaha, na asya dukkham kadachana, asya atmanaha. There cannot be any sorrow for atma. Sorrow and atma don't go along together. Only thing they go along means atma provides existence to sorrow also. Just like it can provide existence to happy experiences. Any experience, atma is there underlying it. Okay. So atma, so atma provides existence for everything because atma is adhishtanam. It is the basis. Clay provides existence to the pot. The crying pot also, clay provides existence. The happy, joyful pot also, clay provides existence. So atma udasinaha, it is just asangaha. It is just shakshi. So na asya dukkham kadachana. Okay. There is one more shloka. We have a couple. Okay, let's pause with this because if I start this, then I don't want to rush through this. Okay. So important shloka, right? There is a person who is wealthy. But that person, if Vittam is the source of joy, then that person can never be depressed or sad. But the richest person also gets sad. The guy who doesn't have much to talk about at all, that person seems to lead a happy life. You see both extremes you have seen. How is it possible? If wealth is the source of joy, then everybody who has more the wealth, more the joy. More the wealth, more the joy. More the wealth, more the joy. Nothing. Nothing. This psychologist, this tycoon went and met the psychologist and had a discussion, etc. That person was depressed, everything, and that he left the office after 1 hour. And this psychologist is a very unique guy, and he at some time he allows anybody to walk in without any charge. Poor people will be allowed for some time. He will see them, and so one person walked in, and then he said, and poor people, he opened the door, and then a poor person also walked in, and then he said, what happened? Why are you sad? I don't know if I'm going to get food tomorrow or not. And the psychologist got enlightened. My God, all these guys with so much money are sad, and this penniless person also is sad. That means what? Money and joy there's no connection at all. Like that, the psychologist got enlightened. And so, suicide. Person commits suicide. Why? Despite having so much. Why? Because there is no connection between joy and sorrow and the things that I possess. There is no connection at all. Then how come they are committing suicide? Well, is a person atmartatvena only or not? Yeah, I am committed to myself, and I don't see any hope in this life that I can ever be happy, and therefore I am happier dead than alive. Correct? There also I want to be happy only. The person who kills himself also wants to be happy. Commitment is to the self, happiness. I want to be happy. So that's the idea here also. That nature of that Ananda is talked about. Very important shlokas these are. And we have one more shloka which we'll cover in the next class, and then we'll continue with the shloka Avyakta Namni. Okay. Om Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasyashalini Deshoyam Kshobharahitah Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaah Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद जय कुमार।
Thank you. Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಜಯಕುಮಾರ್ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Thank you.